Hello and thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be looking at the Scort from Wixco Knives. Now I'd say Wixco is still a fairly new knife company. I don't know exactly how long they've been around, but I know they're still pretty new. But this is a great budget knife. And before we get into this, I quickly want to give a shout out to JD from Daily Gear Guide. If you guys haven't seen his channel, I highly recommend it. He's got great knife content, and I'll leave a link down to his channel in the description below. But originally, JD was going to just send the Axor from Wixco for me to customize. So I'm going to be getting as creative as I can with this thing. But this is also another great budget knife from Wixco. I think it's a beautiful shape, very unique, and I honestly, truly just love this knife. Wixco was kind enough to send me one. This was the version they sent. I really love this colorway. I think that's a beautiful contrast with that teal JG10 and everything blacked out. It's a beautiful model. I think they have other variations. I'm not exactly sure, but I will leave a link to Wixco's website down below in the description. You can definitely go check them out. They have some awesome stuff. But getting back to the Scort, this thing is really, really well done. And I'm really glad JD sent it my way because it wasn't even really on my radar, but it's excellent. So let's just dive right in. Everything's coated black, by the way. I just want to start off with that. It is murdered out, or technically almost murdered out. There is a little bit of purple in these carbon fiber inlays. So there is just a splash of color, but it is murdered out, or a stealthy look to it. But you have the milled aluminum scales, a aluminum backspacer with really nice jimping. Again, that carbon fiber inlay. You do have a deep carry pocket clip. It's not reversible, so you lefties are left out on this one. You do have a lanyard hole. T8 hardware all the way around except for the pocket clip and the thumb studs. Those are T6. And you do have a flipper tab and dual thumb studs to deploy the blade. And speaking of blade, we have a 14C 28N steel blade, which is a great budget steel. You do have a black coated blade. I kind of wish this one was etched and stonewashed or black washed. I think that would look really, really good, but it is a beautiful coating. The total length on this blade is 3 5/8 inches. You do have a drop point style blade with a hint of a harpoon there and a little bit of jimping as well. A nice swedge to give that blade some character. And this is a flat grind. It gets fairly thin at the edge, but this thing is very, very slicey. It is riding on bearings, and we do have inset steel liners, which are skeletonized. You can see right there, you do have some holes to lighten those liners. But the action on this thing is really, really good. The flipper tab works excellent. As you can see, it just fires that blade right out. Again, riding on bearings, so very, very smooth. So you can see right there, very drop sheddy. I'm assuming this is broken in because I know JD has had this for a bit, and very, very smooth, especially for the price point. And the thumb studs with your thumb fires right out. Reverse flick, just as good, very, very snappy. And I'd say the detent it's a little on the light side. Even when I really try to fail this thing, it still fires out and locks up, but I'd say this could use just a little bit more pressure, make it just a little bit stronger. That detent would be, I think, would be perfect, but this is very close. But really good action, and access to that inset liner lock is very well done. You can see they gave you just a little bit of room to access it. I just really like it when a knife company gives you enough access, even if it's just the slightest bit as this one, to gain access to that liner lock, or if it's a frame lock. But very, very well done there. Now, when it comes to the ergos on this thing, it is very, very comfortable in hand. Even with just the regular grip, fits beautifully in hand. You can somewhat feel the pocket clip here. It's not annoying, but you can feel that it's there, but it's not really gonna bother you too much when you're using this knife. When you choke up on this front finger choil, you do get pretty close to that cutting edge. Kind of like that because you can get a lot of controlled cuts when you're that close. The reverse grip is very, very comfortable as well. You have a nice curved area for your thumb to land on, so super comfortable in the reverse. And one thing I noticed on these scales, it is chamfered, or you have a nice bevel all the way around on the inside of the scales. So that way when you use the flipper tab to deploy the blade, your finger's not writing on anything sharp here, so it doesn't really bother you, which is something I really like when a company does and pays attention to that kind of stuff. Another feature that I think adds to the comfort of this knife are these really large bevels here up on the top of the scales. See right there. And then also on the underside of the scales. Again, adding to the comfort. But another nice feature is that all the way around the scales, you have a rounded chamfer. Usually it's flat, but you can see it's nicely rounded on the ends. Again, just making it super, super comfortable in hand. And quickly want to give you guys a close look on those carbon fiber inlays. They are very, very well done. You can see the tolerances are very tight. There's no weird gaps where they did the cutout in the aluminum. I also like that they chamfered or beveled the outside edges of those inlays, since the inlays are raised just a bit. But that nice little bevel definitely makes it more comfortable in hand, and also gives that inlay a nice effect in the light. And when it comes to the pocket clip, this thing works great. I haven't had any issues with it. Even though this pocket clip is raised above the scales here, or the inlay, it is not bothersome in pocket. Slides right in, there's no issues. I know a lot of people prefer it to be countersunk into the scale, but again, no issues. Slides right into pocket, great tension, and really no issues. Overall, I think this thing is great. Again, shout out to JD for sending this over my way for me to check out. This is definitely one that I would love to get into the collection, mainly just to customize it. I'd really like to create some custom inlays for this, but maybe that'll be later in the future. But overall, really love the Scort. Definitely recommend it. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, go check out Wixco. I think they're making some awesome stuff, especially for the price point. As always, thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate the support. And I will see you guys on the next one.